Good evening, and welcome to the Sisters of St. Joseph of Boston's Living the Dream virtual event. I'm Karen Holmes Ward, the Director of Public Affairs and Community Services for WCVB TV Channel 5, and the host and executive producer for Cityline. I am thrilled to once again be serving as your host for this annual event. Now, as you know, this year is a little different. We would love to be meeting with you as usual and reminiscing with old schoolmates and colleagues, hearing the fun stories from the Sisters of St. Joseph and celebrating together at the Seaport Hotel. Those days will be here again. But in the meantime, we're happy you're here with us tonight with your family and socially distanced friends from the safety of your homes. So this year, I need your help to get the night started. Let us know how you're doing. You can share your favorite emoji or send a comment in the chat box so we can see who is joining us this evening. It's a great way for us to be with one another virtually to enjoy this night together. And we have a great night planned for you. You'll hear from a few people who, through the 4 congregation ministries, are able to seek and receive help and guidance. And you'll hear from our wonderful honorees, the Honorable Regina Quinlan Doherty and Marianne Jordan. The awards being presented tonight are the Dear Neighbor Award. And I could not think of a more accurate phrase to respond to what's happening during this pandemic. As the sisters have been responding to those in the neighborhood, our community in turn has been responding to the needs of the sisters. We are most grateful for all you've done and continue to do for the work and mission of the Sisters of St. Joseph. There are a lot of people to thank for making tonight happen, in addition to those of you who are joining us. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors who have supported us tonight. Without you, the work and mission of the sisters could not continue to thrive. Tonight, you will also be hearing from a great community leader and friend, Jim Carmody. He will share his history and story growing up as a product of the Sisters of St. Joseph. Some of his recollections and memories may strike a familiar chord with many of you. Instrumental in any great organization is its leader. And what you may not know about Sister Lee is she began her professional career as a national security intelligence analyst, which provides a very unique perspective for her decades-long tenure as a professor of political science. Now, I'm sure she would have some very interesting perspectives on what's happening in the world right now, but that's a conversation for another time. Please join me in welcoming the president of the Congregation of the Sisters of St. Joseph, Sister Lee Hogan, who will first lead us in prayer.
Good evening, friends. In the name of the Sisters of St. Joseph, I welcome you to our Living the Dream virtual event. The funds raised by this evening's event will be a significant assist as we continue various ministry works, as well as provide for our elder retired sisters. We are most grateful for your generous support. You will recall the passage in the Gospel in which Jesus prayed that all may be one. It is through love of God and love of neighbor, the great command, that such oneness, such unity will be achieved. And for us, Sisters of St. Joseph, it is through our outreach to the dear neighbor without distinction that we work to fulfill God's dream of becoming one. Since 1873, when the first Sisters of St. Joseph arrived in Boston to open a parish school, we have been reaching out to the dear neighbor. Today, our sisters continue to minister in formal education settings from elementary school through college. And many sisters in active ministry, including retired sisters who volunteer, are responding to some of the signs of our current times. They are teaching English to new peoples, preparing people for the citizenship exam, working to combat human trafficking through peace vigils and through education programs in schools and local groups, organizing women's support programs, outreach efforts for justice and peace, spiritual outreach and retreat programs. There is so much that your support of this event enables us to continue doing as we reach out to the dear neighbor. And you, dear friends, are our partners, our silent partners in these works and in the care and support of our elder sisters. Tonight, we are delighted to present our Dear Neighbor Award to 2 outstanding women whose lives and values reflect those of the Sisters of St. Joseph. the Honorable Regina Quinlan Doherty, retired judge of the Massachusetts Superior Court, and Marianne Jordan, Senior Vice President of Eastern Bank. Both of these women have lived lives rooted in the gospel, the values of love of God and neighbor. You will meet these women shortly. Recently, Pope Francis announced that within the Church this year of 2021 would be the year of St. Joseph. So it is fitting that we begin this evening's celebration with a prayer in honor of Joseph. Let us pray. God of great love, your Son Jesus was nurtured by St. Joseph. May we look to Joseph as our model of justice, gentleness, and humility. May we, with Joseph, nurture the life of Christ in our lives and in the lives of others, uniting all people and all creation with God and with one another. May Joseph's life inspire us to be a hopeful, healing presence within our world. Amen. Tonight, dear friends, we pray that through the intercession of St. Joseph, God will shower an abundance of blessings upon you, your families, and your own life's work. In the name of all Sisters of St. Joseph, I express our immense gratitude for your generous partnering with us. Thank you. Enjoy the program.
As a resident of Dorchester and one of 8 children of Mary and Joseph Carmody, our family has a long history with the Sisters of St. Joseph. It all started at St. Anne's Elementary School in Neponset. I vividly remember the blue pants and jumpers, the white shirts, and blue clip-on ties with the SAS embroidered in white thread. All 8 of us matriculated through St. Anne's Neponset, not only as students, but as members of the band, altar boys, choir singers, and as volunteers as directed. From there, 3 of us continued to Cathedral High School. May, class of 58, Ellen, class of 67, and me, class of 71. The Sisters of St. Joseph had tremendous influence on us and continue to impact our lives. The late 60s and early 70s was tumultuous for most schools. Forced busing was in effect, and racial discord was highly evident across the city, but not at Cathedral. That chaos never penetrated Cathedral. The school was diverse and even became more so while I was there. Playing sports, many of my teammates were of color and became lifelong friends. This exposure and experience shaped my entire life regarding race. The color of one's skin was not an impediment to friendship. The Sisters of St. Joseph deserve tremendous credit for that. As a student, let's say I was inconsistent. However, physics was insurmountable. Sine, cosine, and logarithms appeared beyond my comprehension. Sister Mary Black was determined for me to excel. Her patience was amazing, and she would not let me give up. About 17 years ago, I reconnected with Sister Mary Black. She was attending a dinner at the Seaport Hotel. And as I approached her table, having not seen her for 33 years, she recognized me by name immediately. I'm not so sure that is a good sign for me. Another high school lesson that has been a constant companion in my life is the art of the précis. It is the ability to concisely consolidate a larger message without sacrificing its meaning. I often rely on this skill. The Sisters of St. Joseph drilled into me the importance of preparation, pre-planning, anticipation, being ready for the unexpected, and this remains my greatest legacy of Cathedral High School. Teachers have an awesome responsibility. For the Sisters of St. Joseph, it was not a job, not even a career, but a passionate mission to develop the intellectual capacity while forming great character. Like many others, I have been very fortunate and very grateful to Sister Mary Black and so many other Sisters of St. Joseph. Today is a good day to recognize their dedication and support their mission. And now it is my pleasure to introduce you to Sister Gail, who will describe different ways you can continue to support the Sisters.
Thank you, Jim. Perhaps some of you remember me from past years as a proud sister of St. Joseph. Together, the sisters and I share love of God, love of one another, and dedication to our mission of service to the dear neighbor, as well as caring and cherishing our elderly sisters. One of the joys we have as sisters is to have students who remember us. Jim Carmody, for example. His recollection of Cathedral High School and the sisters who taught him was so memorable for him that he volunteered to join us in our endeavors to raise funds for our congregation. We are also blessed to have other former students and lay people assist us in this endeavor. We recognize that we cannot carry out our mission alone. Connecting with lay people as partners is a blessing for us. Those who have collaborated with us have been a strength to us, sustaining our mission and ministries and helping us support our elderly sisters. I know many of you viewing this event have already been so generous with your support. You have brought us great joy and given us peace of mind. Some of you may be asking, what can I do to partner and continue to partner with the Sisters of St. Joseph of Boston? Hearing Jim's remarks may have brought you back to your time of fond memories with the Sisters of St. Joseph, which for many of you, like Jim, have helped to shape the people you have become today. If you are wondering, what can my gift do? Well, here are some of the needs it may be used to fund. For our sisters, handicapped wheelchair access to the front door of the Mother House or to St. Joseph Hall. Provide an upgrade in the rooms of the retired sisters. Provide power recliners for our sisters. For our sponsored ministries, which you will hear more about tonight, funding to carry on their work of providing to the needs of their ministry. Thank you for considering a gift, whether large or small, to enable us to carry out our mission.
I am a parent of a young adolescent of special needs and came into this journey not knowing anything about special needs and really looking for support and resources. The women's table, I cannot say enough, there is not anything like it for women in the Boston and greater Boston area. It's definitely a jewel.
The Leaders Connection, for me, they played an amazing role, not only in my life, in many people and families, because we need the connection. They always have the time to hear me and help me.
Thank you, Sister Lee, Jim, Sister Gail, and those who have experienced the work and mission of the Sisters of St. Joseph Ministries firsthand. All are such shining examples of what Sister Lee referenced in her remarks, the dear neighbor without distinction, bringing the message of God's love to each one. For many of you watching tonight, the bonds of the Sisters of St. Joseph are strong and unwavering. They stretch from childhood friends to vocation connections and beyond. As you hear the stories of our honorees, I know they will touch your hearts, bring a smile to your faces, and perhaps recall memories of your own experiences. The Leonard family is a past recipient of the Dear Neighbor Award. Dennis Leonard is here tonight to present the first award to his schoolmate, Marianne Jordan. Take it away, Dennis.
Thank you, Karen, and good evening. Tonight, I have the distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you one of our two honorees of the Sisters of St. Joseph Dear Neighbor Award. What makes this even more special is that I have known this woman for over 50 years, and I can assure you from firsthand knowledge, she exemplifies the spirit of this award. Like many of us joined here tonight, her introduction to the wonderful sisters came in the first grade. In her case, at the Immaculate Conception Grammar School in Everett. Those 8 years were followed by 4 more with the sisters at Pope John XXIII High School. From this great foundation, Marianne then went on to receive her bachelor's degree in business at Salem State University. She then embarked on a very successful career in financial services, starting with Liberty Mutual. After stops at First National Bank of Boston and Bank of America, she joined Eastern Bank in 2004, where she helped build the financial institutions team, rising to her current role of Senior Vice President. And with so many successful executives, their passion is serving others in the communities where they live and work. Marianne is no exception. Here are just some of her contributions. She is the proud co-chair of Eastern Bank's Women's Interest Network, where she works with women across both the bank and nonprofit entities to support the advancement of women. She's a member of the Women's Mental Health Leadership Council at McLean Hospital, which provides mental health support for women and girls. She has also worked on numerous committees with the Massachusetts Bankers Association and many more committees, too numerous to mention. She mentors young women in and outside of Eastern Bank. And my personal favorite, she is very active with St. Anthony's Shrine, specifically working with the homeless and the Women's Health Clinic. In essence, Marianne has pursued a lifetime of investing in the advancement of women. I know that all of the Sisters of St. Joseph, both living and those gone before us, are smiling and saying, "We did a good job with that one." Marianne, on behalf of all the Sisters of St. Joseph, please accept this very well-deserved Dear Neighbor Award.
Thank you, Dennis, for those kind remarks. I would like to start by extending a very big thank you to the Sisters of St. Joseph for this lovely honor this evening. I am delighted and humbled to receive the Sisters of St. Joseph's Dear Neighbor Award alongside the Honorable Regina Quinlan Doherty, someone who I so greatly admire and proud to call a friend. Tonight I'd like to share with you a few thoughts of my lifelong experience with the Sisters of St. Joseph. This relationship began many years ago at the Immaculate Conception Grammar School in Everett. There is no need to mention the year of that fateful September morning when I crossed the threshold into my first grade class. I was greeted warmly by my new teacher, Sister Manuela. Over the past year, we've been reminded of the important role that teachers play in children's development. Sister Manuela was a woman who possessed all of the best qualities a teacher requires to instill the love of learning in a young child. On that day, I was joining my elder siblings, oldest brother Bob, my sister, now Sister Winifred, and my brother Jim. My brother Charlie would join us the following year. Along with my parents, the Sisters of St. Joseph provided me with a foundation that over the next 12 years helped shape the woman who stands in front of you this evening. They took a very shy and quiet young girl and gave me the educational tools and the confidence to position me worthy of this award tonight. They were bright and intelligent women who were transforming themselves at the same time I was. These were the early years of shedding the formal habit and instituting changes in Catholic doctrine. This new openness inspired us and guided us as we began to explore who we were and who we hoped we could be in this new world. So many parts of my life today can be traced back to those early days. My closest friends today are the women I met at the Immaculate. I consider myself blessed to have had parents who wanted me to have a parochial education. My blessings include a loving family who stand beside me and behind me. And although I've never had children of my own, I am delighted to let you know that I have 3 wonderful nephews and 2 beautiful nieces who, along with their spouses, inspire me to be a better human being every day. I've also been fortunate to work at a company where doing good is encouraged. Being able to work at a financial institution like Eastern Bank, where giving back to society is greatly admired, has brought me great joy. Volunteering from time to time is one thing, but as tonight's video demonstrates, the sisters are involved in activities helping those less fortunate every day. And although this award has my name on it tonight, it really is a culmination of the influence of those early years when my parents and the Sisters of St. Joseph guided me in the importance of giving back. The life of a nun has great rewards, but it's not always easy for these women. I have personal experience of how strenuous the experience can be. My sister Winnie is a registered nurse and has devoted her life as a Carmelite sister for the aged and the infirmed. 42 years of being the sister of a sister has taught me a thing or two about their life. In addition, my young cousin, Sister Erin McDonald, took her final vows as a Sister of St. Joseph in Detroit last year. Just like the Sisters of St. Joseph, They are both smart, capable women who could have been highly successful in whatever career they chose. In recognition of the caring lives that they live every hour of every day, I'd like to dedicate my Dear Neighbor Award this evening to Sister Winifred Jordan and Sister Erin McDonald, who exemplify all that is dear and good in being a dear neighbor. A big thank you to the Sisters of St. Joseph from my past and my present for this wonderful award. I thank you for all that you have done for me in my life, and I look forward to what I can do for you going forward. Good night, everyone.
Marianne, your commitment to family, friends, community, and women's causes throughout the Commonwealth is laudable. You're a wonderful person, you're a wonderful friend. Congratulations.
Marianne, on behalf of the whole family, it's my privilege to say congratulations. We love you and we are proud of you, and we are grateful for the many ways that you love God and neighbor without distinction in all that you do.
Hi, Marianne. I'm so glad to have this opportunity to help celebrate your receiving the Sisters of St. Joseph of Boston's Good Neighbor Award. As someone who has had the pleasure of working with you for the past 15 years, I can personally attest how deserving you are of this recognition as you demonstrate the qualities embodied in it every day. Congratulations.
Wow, can you believe they have known each other for over 50 years and still have such a great friendship? As I said earlier, those Sisters of St. Joseph bonds are strong and unwavering, no doubt about that. Congratulations, Marianne, and honor most deserving. And it's wonderful to see those who have touched your life in so many ways here to support you tonight.
Thank God, thank to Catholic House, because I don't know how to read and write. I went there, they welcome me, and they help me, and they're there for me. So that's mean everything for me, Catholic House.
The Sisters of St. Joseph and their spiritual ministries have played a fundamental role in my spiritual journey, offering me gifts of spiritual direction and wise counsel, restorative retreats in peaceful sanctuaries, prayerful reflection and discernment, inspiration, and a deepening relationship with the divine. I feel blessed to have the abundant gifts of St. Joseph's spiritual ministries to accompany me through my life.
You've just heard from women who represent some of our congregational ministries. They, along with all of us retired sisters, want to say thank you to all of you donors. It's because of you and your love and support for the Sisters of St. Joseph that makes what we do and that makes what our lives are so special. We thank you and we promise you our prayers.
I would now like to introduce Sister Kathy Clifford, the Assistant President of the Congregation of the Sisters of St. Joseph. She's a well-known educational administrator who has spent 30 years as a high school principal. Now, what most people do not know about Sister Kathy is that she has a master's degree in criminal justice, and I think that makes her the perfect choice to introduce our next honoree.
Thank you, Karen. It has been said that some people come into our lives and quickly go. Others stay for a while, leave footprints on our hearts, and we are never, ever the same. With us tonight is one of those people, a woman who, after a year in college, followed the path to the Sisters of St. Joseph, where she graced us with her presence for 8 years, and during that time developed long and lasting relationships. Hers was a faith-filled path, which she continued throughout her life in many different ways. In her own words, she said, "I knew I had a vocation, it just wasn't forever." Teaching middle school while attending Suffolk Law at night to earn her degree, she was admitted to the Massachusetts Bar in 1973 and soon moved into private practice. This is a classy woman, one admired for her legal knowledge, her honesty and courage in her approach to life. She never hesitated to do the right thing, even if unpopular or against the grain. As a woman on her own in her practice, she took on some high-profile cases, including representation of adult bookstores in Boston's combat zone. Her defense of the unpopular, the underdog, and the unappreciated landed her in the headlines of the Boston newspapers on a few occasions. In 1992, she was appointed to the Superior Court, where she served for 20 years. Here, as in her practice, where she flew solo for so many years, it was her care of the dear neighbor without distinction which set her apart. This tenet of the Sisters of St. Joseph was deep within, and in fact, never left her. What an extraordinary woman, one who touched so many in varied ways, and one who never played favorites. Generous with her time and talent, she served on the boards of Rosie's Place, Aquinas College, and Regis College, and was awarded honorary degrees from Suffolk University and Regis. And in March of 2018, this woman, this very unique woman, with footprints on her heart, walked down the aisle for the first time and became Mrs. Gerard F. Doherty. No longer flying solo, she was ecstatic before a packed, joyful congregation of family and friends. It is to this woman, this femme extraordinaire, the Honorable Regina Quinlan Doherty, that we present this award this evening, very aware of Gerard proudly smiling down on her.
Thank you, Sister Kathy. Sister Lee, I'm profoundly grateful for being named as this year's honoree. You know, I love the Sisters of St. Joseph. My sisters, my brothers, and I were all taught by the sisters, as was my husband, Gerard. Gerard was forever grateful of the help he received at St. Mary's in Charlestown, being transformed from one of the poorest students impaired by dyslexia to one of the most academically successful, facing a bright future. He never missed an opportunity to thank them. When I was 18, I knew exactly what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. The future was so clear then. My future was as a CSJ and as a teacher. I learned that the future is not always quite that simple. It is, as Daniel Berrigan once described it, a question mark. It still is. In the community, I encountered strong, dedicated, brilliant, and holy women. They were my teachers, my mentors, my friends, and they still are. Many who entered stayed, and others like me left to follow a different path. They became teachers, mothers, professionals, enriched by the charism and values of the community. Former members are now designated and celebrated as friends of the community. It was my privilege to have been a member of the Sisters of St. Joseph and to be a friend of the community now. For me, the experience has been a blessing. No organization or community of women had a more profound influence on who I was or whom I became. In 1969, I left the community that I love and had no idea where my future would lead. It was certainly an adventure going to law school, practicing law, serving as an associate justice of the Superior Court. Wherever I went personally and professionally, the Sisters of St. Joseph have always been with me, a part of me, my valued friends and mentors. My friends from the community encouraged and supported each other in good times and bad. To paraphrase Yeats, think where my glory most begins and ends, and know my glory was to have had such friends. I am not only grateful for this award, which is very beautiful, I am also most grateful to have had the Sisters of St. Joseph as a part of my life. Thank you.
Congratulations, Regina. You certainly deserve this award. And what a lot of people don't realize is what an impact you've had on the Quinlan family and the extended family, particularly through your cousins on the Cape, where you would greet and host up to 100 members of the family and extended family on the summer's outing. And so again, congratulations and good for you.
Regina, congratulations on your award tonight. It's so well deserved. You have always been the embodiment of caring and being concerned for the other. When I asked a few of our friends from Group 2 to describe you in a word or a phrase, they said the following: caring, always there for people, humble. If you need anything, call Regina. She'll be there for you. Again, Regina, it's an honor to represent so many of our friends tonight in honoring you. Congratulations, well deserved.
Congratulations, Regina. Today is your day. You've been to many great places, and there's more on the way. You have brains in your head, and you have feet in your shoes, and you're the person who can still steer the direction you choose. You've been on your own, and you know what you know, and you're the gal who'll decide the next direction you'll go. It's wider out there than the open air, and you're the girl who can make things happen out there. And as you know, and as you go, you meet some strange birds like me, as you know. So remember to make sure when you take a step, to do so with care and tact. Remember, life's a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Oh, yes, indeed. And your family and your friends and your colleagues will be there to help you succeed. So congratulations, Regina. Today is your day. And thanks for sharing the roads, the mountains, and the bumps along the way.
After listening to our speakers and the words of our honorees, a motivational stirring may have occurred within you. After seeing tonight's speakers, perhaps something might have touched your heart and hopefully your pocketbook to stimulate you to assist us in our mission of service to the dear neighbor and to assist us in the support of our aged senior sisters. You heard earlier all the wonderful ways your dollars can contribute to support our sisters in meaningful ways. You can contribute by texting to the numbers on the screen or by visiting our website. Know that the sisters continue to be grateful for your support. This has been an exciting evening for me. Tonight, I do believe that God was with us, especially blessing you, our benefactors, for your generosity to the Sisters of St. Joseph. My hope is that God will inspire you to continue to partner with us as we labor in God's vineyard of Boston. In return, I promise that each of you will be remembered in my prayers and the prayers of all our sisters. God's blessings to you all.
Regina, what an extraordinary life you've led. Congratulations. It is wonderful to see those who have touched your life in so many ways. Also, what a beautiful introduction by Sister Kathy. I want to thank all of those who were able to participate in tonight's Living the Dream virtual event. You all did a great job. Thank you. I also want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. It is our hope that you've learned something new about the work of the Sisters of St. Joseph and their partners in mission. Many of you have known the sisters as your educators, teachers, mentors. Those relationships have now turned into long and loving friendships, bonds built up over years, speaking to that theme Sister Lee spoke to earlier, so that all may become one, all in the spirit of the good Sisters of St. Joseph. As we close tonight, I want to thank you again for supporting the work of the Sisters of St. Joseph. During our Living the Dream dinners, it's become a tradition that the sisters conclude the evening singing the traditional Sancte Joseph. Please enjoy our virtual CSJ choir singing this hymn. We look forward to seeing you hopefully in person next year. Be well, be safe. Good night.
So